Well, it's the exit polls that have predicted a clean sweep for the BJP in the state elections, and the news was welcomed by markets, which soared in trade today. The rupee also logged into a rally, rising to a 5-week highs against the USD, hitting an intraday high of 61.52. The rupee ended the day on your screens at 61.75. It's a 0.5% gain coming in there for a second straight day for the currency.
I'm not expecting rupee to appreciate further to 61 levels. In my sense, the fair value of rupee is around this range of 61 to 64. As and when tapering gets announced, you will see a knee-jerk reaction on rupee towards a depreciation or a weakening bias. But again, I see that to be temporary.
Well, also let's get on board Vijay Bhamwani, who's author and CEO at VSPL India. Also joining us is Paresh Nair, who's head of foreign exchange and fixed income First Rand Bank. Paresh, to you first, what's the sense that you are making of the pure sentiment euphoria that the markets were dealing with today?
Well, it's coupled with the two factors. One is definitely the exit poll talking about the BJP getting the victory in all the 4 states, and some of the research houses had been welcoming BJP and even expecting maybe on the general election there could be a power from BJP side. Along with that, we have seen the good inflows coming for the FPO of Power Grid. So that's 2 factors which have played on the rupee. And it actually threatened today at 61.50 to be breaking, because 61.50 is technically a very good support. And at that level, we saw some of the oil companies coming to the market, as we know that the oil companies have been permitted to cover in the market. And for a day like today, they might have gone for their forward bookings as well. Along with that, rupee's bullishness is also with the factor that September quarter GDP was just 1.2%. And the news that the swap window has already garnered nearly $34 billion. So that has given a very good buffer to RBI. So I think the weakness of the rupee, which the market started expecting that there could be a breach to beyond 63, I think it is going back now how much rupee can appreciate. So for some days, I think rupee has got a good sentiment. But yes, one factor we must watch, that how the payrolls coming from the US tomorrow. And after the FPO of Power Grid is announced, if there is going to be outflow of the money which has already come into the system.
So Paresh, would you say that it clearly is or only the domestic factors which are impacting the currency right now? And after the kind of appreciation, would you call it knee-jerk, because the Fed tapering is something that still is hanging high?
I agree that Fed tapering is hanging around, and but on the other side, let's be mindful of the fact now RBI has got a bit good armor now with them. $34 billion is a very good amount, so they are prepared in case of any eventuality to meet. But yes, I wouldn't say that we're going to see all the way 60 down. But yeah, 61.50 remains a very crucial factor. If it breaches, then we can see rupee going towards 60.80. But yeah, let's see. It's a domestic, but.
Sure. Vijay, also, what's your sense coming in for the currency now? On the charts, a second straight day of 0.5% gain.
Manisha, my view remains unchanged. 61 levels on the prompt month futures currency derivative segment on the NSE, which would mean marginally lower in cash, because the spot price tends to be at a discount to the prompt month futures. I would give it a leeway of 20-25 naira paise from 61 levels in the forward market, which would mean 60.5 maybe in the spot segment. That is the appreciation threshold I would expect the rupee to test if the going gets really, really good. At that point in time, I think the dollar will get into the oversold levels, and bargain buying come short covering on the dollar is likely to cushion any further declines from there on.
Vijay, also, what's your sense coming in for the slightly longer term now? Because while the rupee is at around 61.50, the level that we saw in the markets today, you are hearing about 61 on the other side. People are calling it as just a knee-jerk reaction as well.
Manisha, what you are seeing is a rally in the rupee based on sentimental factors. The underlying worries, the underlying fundamentals haven't really changed too much. What you are seeing is the INR bulls betting that there would be a change of guard at some points in time in some places, probably even in the center. But a change in the fundamental scenario is likely to take a longer while. And the markets are basically running up in anticipation of that, which would mean that the magnitude of the impulse in the market is likely to be curtailed. As far as the levels are concerned, I think 61 or maybe 60.75 is a level where I think the rupee will get overbought and the dollar will get oversold. And should there be any kind of news about Fed tapering, now one hears about a token tapering of $5 to $7 billion a month, or maybe even going up to $10 billion a month. That will definitely have an impact on the rupee. The rupee is likely to weaken along with all other emerging market currencies, and that's a fact one cannot wish away. So you need to be open to the idea of 63, 63 and a half on the other side of the tangent also.
Fair point. Paresh, coming back to you then, and as the information was just flashing on our screens about Bank of England, they have left the rates unchanged. They actually haven't done any changes at all. Was that expected? Because we did see GBP gaining quite strongly ahead of this meeting today. How are you reading into the overall global cues now?
I think the most important factor, as I told you, is not that what we were expecting from BOE, but tomorrow's payroll. That's one factor, and based on that, how soon the tapering may happen and to what extent. That is something which is to be watched. Exactly, I will put it like that. We are better prepared to deal with situations which can come and impact rupee.
All right, so that's the cues coming in from the international markets as well as the domestic markets as well, and that has really impacted the currency on your screens. 0.5% up, 5-week highs is how we saw the rupee there.